Welcome back to the Introduction to React series. Today I'm gonna talk about prop types. In React you can pass any data type as a prop. A string, a number, a function, even arrays or objects. Specifying the expected prop type in the component can give you the safety of predictable type errors. To use prop types, you have to install a separate package first, called prop types. They used to be part of the core React library, but were later extracted to a separate project. Here's how to declare the prop types. I have this button component, for example, and we have a couple of props. I will import the prop types object. To declare prop types for this component, I will initialize the prop types object of this component. I'll do that beneath the component. In this object, we list all of the props and declare their type. The types are also available as part of the prop types object. OnClick is a function, type is a string, style is an object, and label will be string for now. All basic types are available, and you can see them in the prop types documentation in the library's GitHub repository. It will be linked in the video description. Now, if I try to pass a function as the label of the button, you can see I get a very specific error where I made a mistake. Prop types are more powerful than declaring basic types. First of all, you can specify a field as required by adding is required to the end of the type. Now if I test, you will see I get an error message that the type prop of my button is required. I set the type to submit and the error goes away. Now I can set some invalid button type and there will be no error as it is a valid string. There is a method that allows me to be more specific than just a general string value. That method is called oneOf. It accepts an array of acceptable values. In this case, I want this property to either be button or submit. Now I get an error that my value is invalid, and if I change it to submit, it goes away. My button label is only a string. Let's say I want to be able to pass string or a number, as both would work well in this case. I can use the oneOfType method and pass an array of types to it. In this case, these will be string and number. Now I can change my button label to a number, and it would work without errors. When dealing with datasets, you pass an array or an object. There are basic types for array and object, but you would usually want more control over what is contained in the array or how the object is structured. The arrayOf method can be used to specify what values the array that is passed as prop should include. There's similarly an objectOf method that specifies the structure and types of the object properties. You can also specify more specifically the object properties and their types with the shape method. The properties specified here can be required or optional. This describes the shape of the object. If it has these properties, they must be of the described type. But it can also have other properties, and that wouldn't be an issue. If you want to describe the exact properties of the object, you can use the exact method. It uses the same syntax. The only difference is that you will get an error if you have other properties in the object besides the specified ones. Using the instanceOf method, you can check if a prop is an instance of a class. This example shows a message class that has a payload attribute, and using instanceOf, you can check if the provided prop is a message instance. You can also write custom validator functions, where you can test your props with a regular expression or do any custom logic. The validator should return an error in case the prop is invalid. In the validator function, you get the value of the prop, its name, and the component name. A custom validator can also be written for the arrayOf method to validate the items in the array with custom logic. It uses the same validator function syntax. This is how you use prop types. The usefulness of prop types is frequently overlooked. But as your codebase grows, you will have components that are reused in many different places with different props. Having prop types specified for these components takes very little effort, but will save you a lot of time if you encounter a prop type error in the future. Prop types are necessary if you want to have a maintainable React code base. In the next video, I'll talk about reducers and the useReducer hook. Stay tuned.